Hi, I'm Elizabeth Milne. Thanks for joining us today. I work in SAP product marketing. I've been with SAP focusing on record to report for over 20 years. I'm joined today by Katarina Reichardt, and we're going to discuss with you how to reimagine your record to report process, the modern finance platform. Katarina?
Thanks, Elizabeth. Hi, everyone. I'm Katarina, and I head the solution management organization that addresses record to report processes in S/4HANA. And I speak to a lot of analysts and partners and customers. And what I'm hearing is that companies are back to investing in their people, in their processes, and in their record to report systems. CFOs, though, are really interested in generating and protecting business value, not just the IT savings of a technical transformation. And for customers that adopt S/4HANA best practice processes, SAP is delivering value today. Finance processes in general and record to report in S/4HANA specifically support value creation in a couple of different ways. Through optimized best practice cloud operations, for example, or by introducing automation that lowers the cost of finance and scales to support growing businesses. Record to report processes in SAP are among the most widely used in the industry. Companies have been using SAP to meet their financial reporting requirements for nearly 50 years, and we have more than 60 localized country versions, more than 40 available in our public cloud. And the resulting reporting provides the business with insights finance teams need to become more agile and guide their business's decision-making on investment or expansion ideas. Companies and leaders that take a value-based approach to finance, rather than a lift and shift IT approach, take the benefits that came along with economies of scale and standardized, centralized processes. And these were definitely important benefits as well. But with more automation tools available today, teams are really focused on insights that they can get from their financial data. They see their financials as a trusted data source for what's going well and what's not going well to help steer their business and guide their leadership teams. What SAP provides finance teams can be thought of as a mission control center, shown at the top here, where the solution monitors the business transactions happening by the thousands or millions and pushes key financial and risk-related information to your team. This information is presented in different ways depending on your use case. Overview dashboards provide role-specific analytical overviews, but these aren't separate from operational systems. The information is real-time and actionable. Want to find out more about the status of an accrual posting? Click through to see the delivery schedule related to the underlying PO. Or you could look at a dashboard from your entity closing process and watch the job chains execute and report back automatically, tasks turning from gray to green and attaching their own logs as documentation. And sometimes you only want to be notified when there's work to do. And that's also a critical part of this mission control idea, where we push the exceptional cases to the user with prioritization information and suggestions for what the next step should be. The Mission Control Center stretches across the three key areas of our team's focus, across steering, process execution, and compliance. Steering has to be forward-looking by definition, but accountants spend too much time on backward-looking record keeping, and S/4HANA has taken 3 significant steps to change this. First, we have our universal journal, which is the business foundation with all of the dimensionality you need for profitability analysis already included in your core financial accounting data set. Second, improvements in analytics and processing power make redundant data storage in a BW for reporting exactly that. It's redundant and obsolete. Finally, S/4HANA uses its most important asset, the logistics transactional data available in our integrated SAP processes. Some of this data won't be really relevant for financial accounting yet, like a sales order that hasn't been billed, but it's a kind of a future financial fact that can be picked up by our predictive accounting approach to give finance teams key steering information. This information can be used to track progress against plans at an early stage. Plans, of course, that are built using the same data structures as your operational data with the integrated planning stories that we have for all sorts of financial planning. In the area of process efficiency, SAP is pursuing relentless automation. We're using intelligent technologies like machine learning, RPA, and chatbots wherever they fit in our processes. In the area of record to report, I'm really excited about SAP's investment in business process intelligence and having the Signavio team become a part of SAP. Companies can benchmark where they stand and get actionable recommendations for automation support. That's really going to drive a wave of change. And of course, we understand the need for continuous compliance. We're working to help teams protect the value that they've created. With access and financial controls, approvals, and key audit documentation baked into the processes. Here, SAP also has great news to share. We're introducing SAP Financial Compliance Management. By tightly aligning control monitoring capabilities with content tailored to our S/4HANA record to report process, customers are going to benefit from streamlined compliance activities. Let's look at how record to report can be at the core of your modern finance platform. At the center of the visual in gold, you can see S/4HANA Enterprise Management. We've brought together local accounting and group accounting processes, which enable us to take key activities off of the critical closing path and move them into the period, like goods and invoice receipt reconciliations, for example. And group reporting without transferring data to another system, that's going to bring efficiency and transparency into the reconciliation to elimination process that no other software provider can deliver. At the top, advanced financial closing and balance sheet substantiation capabilities provide the automation and support for compliance you need to keep your processes moving during period end. Automation here means that you have more time to focus on the high-risk areas and ensure completeness and accuracy. Our platform has similar innovations in all the areas of finance, from automated revenue management to receivables and cash management to treasury. And with SAP Central Finance in green, you can extend the value of these innovations to the financials for your entire landscape in a low-risk, phased approach that doesn't touch your existing logistical systems. And your financial data is already in the right structures to be used by SAP Analytics Cloud with aligned models and smart discovery and data insight tools so that finance teams can advise the business effectively. From planning to financials, to executing your transactional processes, to delivering consolidated group-level reporting, SAP S/4HANA is helping teams realize value from their finance platform. Back to you, Elizabeth.
Thanks, Katarina. That was a great introduction to the SAP architecture and how SAP can improve your finance and accounting processes. A key point to consider is that technology alone will not improve your processes. What you need to do is to consider the change in your processes as well as optimize the use of technology that you're either implemented or implementing. Let's take a deep dive into this slide, and which helps us better visualize a change in process. How can you reimagine your group-wide legal and management close with SAP S/4HANA? On the left is your legal view. That's going to be your statutory reporting, your GAAP, your IFRS. And on the right is going to be your management view. So throughout the period, you financially record operational transaction. That's the blue dots. And on the left there, in the legal view, at the period end close, you consolidate and produce static financial reports, including your balance sheet, your cash flow, your P&L, etc. However, with SAP S/4HANA, since there are so many less moving parts, leveraging the universal journal, in addition to the blue dots, now, before the period end, you can financially simulate operational transactions. You can plan, you can create what-if scenarios throughout the period. That's going to be our green dots that are there. And based on various inputs, you can also create predictive analytics, our red dots, also throughout the period. In that case, you don't have static reports anymore. You end up with a more flexible, dynamic view on demand of your financial situation, allowing your finance and accounting departments to, as Katarina has already said, you can now advise the business more effectively, delivering process efficiency, steering effectiveness, and continuous compliance. Taking a different view, let's compare the disparate process for entity and group close of an ECC environment versus an SAP S/4HANA environment. SAP S/4HANA is a holistic process for entity and group close. It's an integrated platform providing a single source of financial truth with the option to run a central finance platform. There is no longer reconciliation efforts between the general and subledgers. There's a consistent, intuitive, and efficient user experience, as well as embedded analytics. Closing tasks are taken off the critical path, delivering high-quality, multi-dimensional insight. Earlier in the process and with less manual effort, intelligent processes leverage the latest technology like machine learning and RPA, robotics process automation. And lastly, you can reconcile intercompany transactions at source before consolidation eliminations. What makes our offering so unique? SAP S/4HANA shows leadership across our core finance processes, invoice to cash, invoice to pay, and record to report, as well as our governance and admin functions. Let me highlight some of the key value points for your finance and accounting teams. First, the Universal Journal delivers a simplified architecture to eliminate subledger to ledger reconciliation. And there's unlimited drill down capability since aggregates have been eliminated. That means that you can drill down from a consolidated balance sheet all the way down to the document level in one system. Your very robust product costing and profitability capabilities stem from decades of experience leading the market in fully integrated manufacturing processes. There's also full support for subscription billing, including revenue recognition. And SAP has the only native treasury solution, a key topic for all CFOs, with an open system for bringing market data and banking connections. The SAP Group Reporting Consolidation solution is embedded into SAP S/4HANA Cloud, which means that the operational steps in the entity and group close are rationalized. Tax compliance monitors the transactional data to ensure accuracy and automates the process around potential tax errors with machine learning. And planning scenarios are available with detailed out-of-the-box content that reuse key data in SAC and SAP S/4HANA Cloud. Lastly, let's wrap up with some proven outcomes from our customers. Over 25% improvement in efficiency, 70% reduction in days to close, 55% reduction in manual effort, 97% of journals are automated. With all this time and savings, you can transform your accounting and finance departments from the historical data processing department, where all they do is record, compile, and distribute financial data. Accountants were left to become Excel jockeys. With SAP S/4HANA, finance and accounting can work as financial analysts. They can leverage their accounting skills rather than their data processing skills. They analyze data and partner with the business and operations to help their businesses run better. Thank you for joining us today and enjoy Sapphire 2021.